the sacrifice of love. The rains had been good that year, and the market in Kwanda village was heavy with cassava, palm oil, and smoked fish. Among the traders who came was Ade, a tall, smooth-spoken man from across the river. He sold fine cloth and strange beads that glowed faintly in the dusk. It was during the third market day that Ade first saw Nia. She stood by the millet stall, her hair plaited like coiled snakes, her eyes bright but unreadable. Villagers whispered that she lived alone at the edge of the forest and that her cooking pot never emptied, no matter how little food she put in it. Ade's heart burned for her at once. "I will marry you," he said boldly. Nia smiled, but her gaze was like moonlight, beautiful and cold. "In my family," she replied, "a bride price is not measured in goats or gold. If you wish for my hand, you must bring me 3 gifts: fire from the moon, the sound of a fish's footsteps, and a tear from your own shadow." The crowd that had gathered laughed and muttered, for such demands were impossible. But Ade only nodded. "I will return with them." For many days he sought answers. He climbed the highest hill to speak to the sky watchers. He camped by the river to listen for fish in the shallows. He even stood in the noonday sun, staring at his own shadow until his eyes watered. None of it brought him closer to the gifts. One evening, he met an old woman grinding herbs under a baobab tree. When he told her his quest, she chuckled. "You chase a trap woven in riddles. Fire from the moon is simply the smile of one you have wronged. The sound of a fish's footsteps is the silence left when an enemy forgives you. And a tear from your shadow, that is the sorrow you feel when you see yourself truly." Ade realized then that Nia's task was not to gather objects, but to test his heart. He returned to those he had cheated in trade and repaid them. He made peace with a fisherman whose net he had once cut in anger. And in the quiet that followed, he saw the pride and greed that had guided his life, and he wept. When he came back to Nia, his hands were empty, but his spirit was lighter. She looked into his eyes and saw the truth there. "You have brought me my bride price," she said softly. And so they were wed, though the villagers always whispered that Nia was still a witch. Only now, she had found someone whose magic matched her own.